So I feel like the Smash Legends community has been a little bit quiet recently, and it's probably for a good reason, to be honest. And a lot of you guys have doubts about the game, so I just kind of want to make a video, kind of share with you guys my thoughts, what I've been feeling about the game lately, and where I think the game is headed towards. All right. So you guys probably don't know this, but for the last week or two, I haven't been feeling super amped when playing the game, and there are multiple reasons for that, which I'll talk about in a second. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm a very competitive gamer. I'm a content creator, so the games I do decide to invest my time into, I see a potential and a future in them. So just keep that in mind, all right? So I know for a fact there are a lot of great things happening in the background, though, which I can't talk about right now. But it's just really a matter of timing on when that new content comes out and external factors like when other good games are going to come out, right? So yeah, so like it really comes down to timing. And I think there's some very simple yet, sort of difficult factors to for Smash Legends to achieve, which really comes down to a notion of player base, right? Because, well, with more players, it equals more competitive players, which equals more good players. And with more good and competitive players equals everybody spending more time on the game, trying to get better. And of course, a potential esports scene, which will really drive up the game, right? So anyways, one of the other reasons I've been feeling a little bit bored recently is, well, I just haven't been feeling as competitive lately, and you guys probably don't know this, to be honest, but like when I first started the game back in, I don't know, I think it was late March or like early April, I was playing like 6 to 8 hours a day. Like now I play maybe 2 hours every 2 days, right? So there's a few reasons for that, right? So back then, I guess the pre-global days, there were just a lot of really, really good players. Like, keep in mind, I used to play with Kami and Kai's and a bunch of other really good guys almost every single game, right? And these guys were way better than me. So like it really motivated me to, play more, try harder, learn more tactics, and just like really challenge myself. And like those were really fun days because there was never a boring game because I would always get destroyed. And when you get destroyed, it kind of motivates you to, play more and try harder, right? And keep in mind too, like the state for Battle Royale, especially back then versus now, is completely different, right? Back then, people would fight 1v1. There was almost no third partying, and people would just die with honor. Like if they're about to die, they're just gonna go out and just die. Like, you know what I mean? Like those were really fun days because there's almost like a bunch of 1v1s happening in a battle royale, of course, with some external factors, and everyone was good, right? Like now, if you look at the games, the good player to the bad player ratio, it's like 90% bad players, 10% good players, right? Whereas back then it was like 50-50. Actually, back then it was like 50% players, 50% bots, but the players were all pretty good, which was really, really interesting. But unfortunately, those guys I used to play with, they were, like I don't know why, but they all quit the game. So I can tell you guys for a fact, I really looked up to Kami. Like he taught me a lot about the game. Like I would say he was my sensei almost. Like he taught me how to play Ravi. I remember the first time I played Ravi, I was so bad with him. I asked Kami, like, how do you play him? He gave me some really good advice and all that stuff. So when he quit the game, it was pretty devastating for me because, I mean, he was kind of like both my teacher and kind of like my rival, right? Because I used to try to fight him all the time. Like, keep in mind, I lost pretty much all my fights against him. Like I probably won 1 out of 4 fights or something like that. But anyways, so yeah, so like when people like that quit the game, it's really devastating for kind of the more competitive players because like those guys were the guys that you want to fight against, right? So I think that's one of the reasons too right now for myself feeling a bit bored because there just isn't as much competition out there as there used to be. Like, don't get me wrong though, guys, like there's some really, really good players out there, which is really good. But when you think about like the notion of a low player base, you get to like you match against the same people over and over and over, which is fine sometimes, but like, man, it's good to get diversity sometimes, right? Like, as I mentioned earlier, I play a lot less now, but when I do play, it seems like I always play against the same people over and over, which is, it's okay, but like it's kind of boring, right? Like, so I think that will probably change with the game's growth and with custom games coming out, creating a potential esports thing, which will create a lot more competitive players, and that will be fun. And like that will come in the future. but currently it's just not super exciting when you're fighting against the same people over and over, especially when they have a vendetta against you. Right? So anyways, so I can honestly say for the last month, I feel like I've been playing worse than when I first started playing the game, which it's kind of sad, to be honest. And I think that's mostly because I don't try as hard as I once did. Also, I don't play the game very often anymore too, right? So I do get rusty pretty quick, but those are more symptoms than the actual reasons. So I would say the actual reason is due to how repetitive it is of the different game modes and the same people. So like it's really like I'm not sure if you guys seen the movie Groundhog Day. It's, like Groundhog Day, basically the reference is you're just doing the same thing over and over every single day, right? That's what it's starting to feel like for me. Like when I play Battle Royale against the same people, it's kind of like, it's like sometimes I forget which game I'm in. Like I think, because it kind of looks the same, it's against the same people. So yeah, anyways, I think that will be resolved down the road. I'll talk about that in a second with kind of the new modes coming out and, potentially another marketing drive to push more players in. So like I said, don't get me wrong though, because some of you guys are really fun to play against and play with. But like, it's just weird that we're always in the same matches almost every single game. I do want to meet new people and play against new people. So, and, kind of inspire new people if I can, right? So, like there's no way the player base is that small right now, right? Because like it can't be 8 people of the same 8 people every single game. All right, so anyways, just like most humans, I mean, like when you feel bored, you start to underperform and yada yada yada. All right, so anyways, with all that said, these issues have very simple solutions, and I feel like they will be resolved naturally with some time. As more players start playing the game, like with custom modes coming out and a potential esports scene, even if it's just an like amateur esports thing, I think it will still attract a lot of tryhard Andes, and they will drive up and shape the competitive scene for the game, which will be really good. All right. So like relatively speaking, the game is still very new, right? It's only been like 2 months since the global launch. I mean, that's like nothing, right? So despite the lack of new content added to the game, which a lot of it is coming very soon, I'm extremely glad they took the time between like global launch until now to resolve some of like the kind of the stupid issues, right? Like lag and like the network issues and disconnects and kind of like the bad drop rates and kind of changing up their monetization model to, giving players more characters for less of the price, which is good. Like what they did with Snow and Don Quixote. Man, I can never say that guy's name. Don Quixote. I'm sure the next few legends will also be a lot easier to get than like a 2% drop rate from a gacha box. But anyways, yeah, so I'm glad they did that, because now with like the core of the game being a lot better, they can now focus on creating new content, which can be, new characters, new game modes. And I'm pretty sure in 6 months from today, the game will look a lot more different, than what we are seeing today, because there will be probably a lot more characters and a lot more game modes to play, which will be very good. So, I mean, if you've been following the game for like the last month or two now, like these last 2 issues I just talked about, like the network issues and the bad drop rates, they cost them a lot of players, right? Like I think they lost like over 35 or 40% of their players, which is can be, could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players. And that's a big blow to a new game, right? So it's going to be hard for them to recover, but you know what? They barely scratch the surface of the population. So I think now that they set the priorities straight, they fix up the core of the game. Now when they do another marketing push, I think they will retain a lot more players, especially now with like more modes in the game and more characters, and the characters being much easier to obtain. So anyways, I think after this next update that's coming out in like 4 or 5 days, this is when they should, really do a big marketing push, because I think the game is at a good state, especially with custom games coming out. So with the new players that they drive in, they will be able to retain a lot more of them, which will be really good for all of us, right? So I hope to see that there will be at least 1 million active players in the game, because I think that will make a huge difference for just the complete environment of the game, right? So if you look at the roadmap right now, I can see it's mostly filled with new modes and new legends and so on from, like from now till till like indefinitely, which is really good. I mean, if you look at it from what, June till July, so in like a matter of 5 weeks, we're getting 3 legends and 2 modes. That's insane. That's more than they've done in the last 2 months. So like, I think if you're a new player who's just starting the game now, this couldn't be a better time for you, since I think Smash is going in a very good direction and has a lot of huge potential to blow up, right? So I think right now we're just at the tail end of this kind of awkward spot where the game is in, especially for like legacy players like myself. Because of the repetitive content and the repetitive players. But I think a lot of that is about to change, and that's why it's so exciting to finally see some new content, like with a giant deathmatch coming out, custom game modes coming out, and like of course like the new legends, right? So I mean, keep in mind, like every good game out there, they've gone through like an awkward stage like this too. So don't discount that. So I mean, like Smash has a lot of potential. So I mean, like even if you guys are not playing right now, I think if you guys come back in like 4 or 5 months, I think the game will be in a very different state and has a lot more content that you guys can play through. So anyways, I think they're moving in a very good direction right now, which is really good. So like, we're getting the custom game mode for this next update, right? And I think this is gonna have a huge positive impact on both the game and content creation. So I mean, like first, now I can actually play with you guys, and we can do stupid things like, say, everyone is going to use Alice and we can only use landmines, and stuff like that, right? I think that will be very fun content. That will be just very fun in general to play, and that will create a whole new dimension of Smash Legends gaming. And anyways, if you guys want to be part of those games, do join my Discord. That's my plug for the day. Anyways, custom game modes will be great, since we can now do like things like tournaments, different leagues, practice with your friends, and just like play with your friends in general, right? And like a bunch of other things that we haven't even thought about yet. So on top of that, I mean, we're getting giant deathmatch, which is like the 5 small people versus the 1 big person. Like, that's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. But like, the real thing to celebrate here is not that, but it's the fact that they're spending a lot more time on creating new modes and bringing in new legends like Flare, for example. And like I said earlier, there's 3 legends coming out in 5 weeks, starting with Flare, which is gonna be crazy. I just hope I just hope the rates won't be insane, and I hope they'll be kind of either really cheap or completely free. So something else I want to talk about too is the seasonal medal reset. And I know a lot of you guys have mixed feelings about this. And before I give you my opinion on this, let me just spit out some facts about me, okay? I never care about rank, right? So I literally don't care about rank. The only reason I was like top 5 for so long is because I was creating content, and just as a byproduct, as I play these games, they give me medals and I do rank up. To be honest, I'd rather be a nobody on the leaderboard, but I destroy everybody on the leaderboard, right? That's a way better feeling. You're coming in as like pretty much like a ninja, right? So anyways, that's how I feel about the leaderboard. Okay, but with that said, I do get it. A lot of you guys find a sense of progression and purpose when it comes to the medals and the ranking system, and it does motivate you guys to play more and grind it out, right? But I kind of disagree with that, because I feel like when it comes to games like this, the real purpose is to get really good, first of all, and just enjoy the game. Just play to get really good and destroy everybody and enjoy it, right? Because what does a ranking system even matter in this game? Like, people just spend a lot of time grinding to the top, but they're not even good. Dude, like, there's so many people in like top 50 who are just complete trash. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think it's better to just get good. Just get really good, forget about ranking, and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, ever since they announced like the medal reset thing, I've been playing so much more recklessly in Battle Royale, and like, it's just so much more fun this way. And like, what? Sometimes like I'll die in like 8th place or something, but what? It's still way more fun. And it's just a lot more exciting. I know some of you guys are saying, oh, like, like dying in 8th place means like 2 hours of your progression time. Who cares, dude? Like, what does it matter if you're top 10 when you suck, right? So anyways, okay, so here's my hot take on this, right? So if there's no reset in place, the current leaderboard model is just not sustainable. Like, once you hit 1,500 medals, you only get 1 medal per win, right? Which means a lot of people are gonna like exploit Battle Royale just to get top 3, and then they get 1 medal. And you know what? That's just kind of unfair for everybody else, because when you're new to the game, how are you ever going to catch up to these, these sweaty boys who grind the game 10 hours a day, right? You'll never be able to catch up to them, which is, it's just unfair for new players. And it's kind of, it's just discouraging for them, right? And also, like, dude, it's going to demotivate kind of these people who grind the game all day just to get medals to actually enjoy the game. Like, go play some other character for once. Go learn the game. Go have fun. Some people play hundreds of games per day just to grind that medal system, and it's like the same thing over and over and over. I just can't imagine that being like that enjoyable, right? So like it's good for everybody. I think it's a good mental reset for these kind of sweaty boys to actually be able to enjoy the game, and also it's a good reset for new players to be able to actually have a fair chance in competing for the top leaderboard, right? As for myself, guys, I'm not going to compete for the leaderboard, but I still make content, so I think naturally I might just end up at the top anyways, but we'll see. I don't care. I just want to destroy everybody. It's even funnier this way when I'm like rank 1,000 and somebody's like rank 1 and I'm destroying them, right? That'll be very funny. So anyways, the only thing I would change though is the timing of the reset. Like I think 28 days is a little too short for a season. I think it should be like 2 or 3 months, because then people who do grind up there, they will actually be able to hold the glory for a bit of time. But anyways, like it is what it is. But I do think probably 3 months would be a bit more natural for a season. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Okay, well guys, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant. And to be honest, guys, the Smash Legends community, like, you guys are incredible. You guys inspire me to make more videos. You guys are keeping the game alive from a community sense, because as you guys know, there's no real community management. And yeah, like, keep being you. Like, to be honest, of all the games I've played, and I played a lot of games, Smash has one of the most like helpful communities, and you guys are just so cool. All right, okay, well anyways, that's my short take on everything, short or long take. Let me know your thoughts on these topics, and what you guys think about the game, and if you guys are gonna stay, if you guys are gonna be hopeful for the future like I am. And yeah, like honestly, I want to hear your feedback, because I'm kind of in a bubble sometimes, because I just kind of exclude myself from the rest of the world. And yeah, so if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to smash the like button in the face, and subscribe to join the MoBo squad. All right, kids, always be humble, be kind to others, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.